I was just going to ask.
I'm waiting for my friends here.
Oh, okay.
Buddhist Temple of Toledo. Please have a seat. Turn to page 2 in your liturgy books. Gata of atonement, all evil karma ever committed by me since of old on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thought. Now I atone for it all evil karma ever committed by me since of old on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thought. Now I atone for it all evil karma ever committed by me since of old on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thought. Now I atone for it all. Kaya 3 refuges. Buddham Saranam Gacchami. Buddham Saranam Gacchami. Dhammam Saranam Gacchami. Dhammam Saranam Gacchami. Sangham Saranam Gacchami. Sangham Saranam Gacchami. I take refuge in Buddha. I take refuge in Buddha. I take refuge in Dharma. I take refuge in Dharma. I take refuge in Sangha. I take refuge in Sangha. The 5 remembrances. I am of the nature to grow old. There is no way to escape growing old. I am of the nature to have ill health. There is no way to escape having ill health. I am of the nature to die. There is no way to escape death. All that is dear to me and everyone I love are of the nature of change. There is no way to escape being separated from them. My deeds are my closest companions. I am the beneficiary of my deeds. My deeds are the ground on which I stand. I am of the nature to grow old. There is no way to escape growing old. I am of the nature to have ill health. There is no way to escape having ill health. I am of the nature to die. There is no way to escape death. All that is dear to me and everyone I love are of the nature of change. There is no way to escape being separated from them. My deeds are my closest companions. I am the beneficiary of my deeds. My deeds are the ground on which I stand. I am of the nature to grow old. There is no way to escape growing old. I am of the nature to have ill health. There is no way to escape having ill health. I am of the nature to die. There is no way to escape death. All that is dear to me and everyone I love are of the nature of change. There is no way to escape being separated from them. My deeds are my closest companions. I am the beneficiary of my deeds. My deeds are the ground on which I stand. Mahayana refuge. In my heart, I take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. May I liberate suffering beings and bring them to great joy. May the compassionate spirit of love grow within me, that I may actualize the great way. In my heart, I take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. May I liberate suffering beings and bring them to great joy. May the compassionate spirit of love grow within me, that I may actualize the great way. In my heart, I take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. May I liberate suffering beings and bring them to great joy. May the compassionate spirit of love grow within me, that I may actualize the great way. Invocation of the lineage. I give thanks for the guidance of my teachers, for the lineage of teachers before them. I give thanks and offerings for their devoted practice of generosity, moral discipline, patience, joyful effort, concentration, wisdom, skillful means, unshakable vow, spiritual powers, and awakened awareness for my benefit. May their years of life be lengthened, and may their vows be completely realized. 7 practices of the Bodhisattva. I bow down in body, speech, and mind. I offer the best I have to give, both real and imagined, to fill the space between us. I regret and purify all transgressions. I rejoice in all virtues. I request you to remain until total enlightenment. I request wise and compassionate guidance. I dedicate my merit for the sake of all beings. Generating love and compassion. May all sentient beings be free from clinging and hatred. Being close to some and distant from others. How wonderful it would be. May this be accomplished. I will free them from clinging and hatred. Bless me to accomplish this. May all sentient beings enjoy happiness and the causes of happiness. How wonderful it would be. May this be accomplished. I will bring them happiness and the causes of happiness. Bless me to accomplish this. May all sentient beings have the joy that has never known suffering. May they be freed from clinging, hatred, jealousy, miserliness, doubt, pride, wrong view, ignorance, and dualistic thoughts. How wonderful it would be. May this be accomplished. I will bring them to this state. Bless me to accomplish this. Our reading today will be the Bodhisattva's Vow on page 12 of the Spiral Bound book. I am only a simple disciple, but I offer these respectful words. When I look deeply into the real form of the universe, everything reveals the mysterious truth of the Tathagata. This truth never fails. In every moment and every place, things can't help shine with this light. Realizing this, our ancestors gave reverent care to animals, birds, and all beings. Realizing this, we ourselves know that our daily food, clothing, and shelter are the warm body and beating heart of the Buddha. How can we be ungrateful to anyone or anything? Even though someone may be a fool, we can be compassionate. If someone turns against us, speaking ill of us and treating us bitterly, it's best to bow down. This is the Buddha appearing to us, finding ways to free us from our own attachments, the very ones that have made us suffer again and again and again. Now, on each flash of thought, a lotus flower blooms, and on each flower, a Buddha. The light of the Tathagata appears before us, soaking into our feet. May we share this mind with all beings, so that we and the world together may grow in wisdom. Please stand for the Heart Sutra. Great Prajna Paramita Heart Sutra. Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva practicing deep Prajna Paramita clearly saw that all five skandhas are empty, transforming all suffering and distress. Shariputra form is no other than emptiness. Emptiness no other than form. Form is exactly emptiness. Emptiness exactly form. Sensation, perception, mental reaction. action, consciousness are also like this Shariputra. All things are essentially empty, not born, not destroyed, not stained, not pure, without loss, without gain. Therefore, in emptiness there is no form, no sensation, perception, mental reaction, consciousness, no eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, no color, sound, smell, taste, touch, object of thought, no seeing, and so on, to no thinking, no ignorance, and also no ending of ignorance, and so on, to no old age and death, also no ending of old age and death, no suffering, cause of suffering, cessation, path, no wisdom, and no attainment, since there is nothing to attain. Bodhisattva lives by prajnaparamita, with no hindrance in the mind, no hindrance, and therefore no fear, far beyond elusive thinking. Right here is nirvana. All Buddhas of past, present, and future live by prajnaparamita, attaining anuttara sambodhi. Therefore know that prajnaparamita is a great sacred mantra, the great vivid mantra, the unsurpassed mantra, the supreme mantra, which completely removes all suffering. This is truth, not mere formality. Therefore set forth the prajnaparamita mantra, set forth this mantra and proclaim Gate Gate Para, Gate Parasam, Gate Bodhi Swaha, Gate Gate Para, Gate Parasam, Gate Bodhi Swaha, Gate Gate Para, Gate Parasam, Gate Bodhi Swaha. All living things are one seamless body and pass quickly from dark to dark. We remember you who cared for us and are gone, you who are ill, you who are at war, who are hungry and who are in pain. May you heal and have peace. We especially dedicate these merits to Eric and his family at the time of his death, Elisa at the time of her death, Gary at the time of his death, Debbie, Stella, Ryan, Sean, Michael, Sharon Petrie, and her family at her passing, as well as those whose names we hold in the silence of our hearts and those whose names we now voice aloud. May we live in perfect peace with Buddha Dharma, and may we realize the Buddha way together. All Buddhas throughout space and time, all honored ones, Bodhisattva. Please prepare for zazen. Hin walking meditation. Odd rows turn to the right, even rows turn to the left, and please follow the person in front of you. You can find the Sangha Covenant on the laminated sheet underneath your cushion. Or on page 8. We, the Daishin Kokoji Sangha, with respect for the worth and dignity of each person, with wonder at the wisdom and compassion we seek to cultivate by practice, and with deep gratitude for the teachers of this lineage and our connection to one another, covenant to support each other by upholding the precepts of doing no harm, practicing good, and actualizing good for others. Please be seated comfortably and so that you can see the teacher. Gata on opening the Sutra. The Dharma incomparably profound and infinitely subtle is rarely encountered even in millions of ages. Now we see it, hear it, receive and maintain it. May we completely realize the Tathagata's true meaning.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for being here. It's so lovely to see old and new faces. Here we are in the Shire, and there's a Buddhist temple. Who knew? So today we're going to look at a reading from the Buddha's teaching on social and communal harmony. From 4 kinds of persons in the world. Monks, there are 4 kinds of persons found existing in the world. What for? First, one who is practicing neither for their own welfare nor for the welfare of others. Second, one who is practicing for the welfare of others, but not for their own welfare. Third, one who is practicing for their own welfare, but not for the welfare of others. And 4, one who is practicing both for their own welfare and for the welfare of others. Suppose a cremation brand was blazing at both ends and smeared with dung in the middle. It could not be used as timber either in the village or in the forest. Just like this, I say, is the person who is practicing neither for their own welfare nor for the welfare of others. Monks, the person amongst those who is practicing for the welfare of others, but not for their own welfare, is the more excellent and sublime of the first two persons. The person practicing for their own welfare, but not for the welfare of others, is the most excellent and sublime of the first three persons. The person practicing both for their own welfare and for the welfare of others is the foremost, the best, the preeminent, the supreme, and the finest of these four persons. Just as from a cow comes milk, from milk curd, from a cow comes milk, from milk curd, from curd butter, from butter ghee, and from ghee comes cream of ghee, which is reckoned the foremost of all of these. So the person practicing both for their own welfare and for the welfare of others is the foremost, the best, the preeminent, the supreme, and the finest of these four persons. These are the four persons found existing in the world. Now, of course, everyone here is the fourth kind. Of course, it goes without saying, does it not? But why is it that we are, of course, the fourth kind? This is a really important central practice and foundational teaching of Mahayana Buddhism. And we talk about it all the time in the liturgy. Every time we do something, we invoke this fourth person who is practicing both for themselves and for others. And we call this Bodhi mind. And the way that we translate it is, for the sake of all beings, to bring all beings to full and complete Buddhahood, we are now practicing. And in order to bring everyone to full and complete Buddhahood, guess what? We've got to do it ourselves. So right there, right at the heart of our practice is the best, right? And it's okay to say, yeah, I'm practicing the best that I possibly can. Because why would you want to practice anything less, right? Why would you want to be any less? The whole point of being human is to be the best possible human we can possibly be, right? So with that in mind, I also wanted to give a bit of a eulogy for Queen Elizabeth. And I recognize right off the bat that this is a bit controversial. So I want to just go there right at the beginning so that we have a little bit of some context to put it in, right? Now, England has overshot itself by quite a bit, shall we say, throughout history, to put it very politely, right? We can think of Africa, we can think of India, we can think of the United States, we could think of the Caribbean. I'm probably leaving out a few. Burma, maybe. Certainly tried to get into China. Ireland, did I mention Ireland? Such is our human condition. I like to think of where we are now as sort of like a worldwide Angulimala story. Now, in Buddhism, there is a character called Angulimala, right? And he was studying under a kind of messed up teacher. And the teacher said to him, you have to go out and kill, I think it was 1,000 people in order to get enlightened. Not a good teaching at all, right? And he was very sincere and dutiful, and he just did what his teacher told him to do because he really believed that if he did this, killed all these people, he would become enlightened. So, of course, he was ravaging the countryside, and the Buddha got word of this and said, I'm going to go check this guy out. I'm going to see what is going on here. And, of course, his disciples were like, no, please don't go, please don't go, he's going to kill you. And Buddha said, I got this, right? I think I can handle this guy. So he finds him on the road, and he starts walking towards him. And Angulimala says, what are you, crazy? Don't you know who I am? You come near me, and I'm going to kill you. And the Buddha says, well, just try and catch me, right? And the Buddha starts running. And of course, the Buddha just completely outruns Angulimala. No matter how fast Angulimala goes, the Buddha is running faster. And finally says, can't you just stop so I can kill you? And the Buddha says, what do you mean? I stopped running a long time ago. How about you? And in that moment, Angulimala had some kind of a conversion experience and realized that he was running towards his karmic detriment, right? That he had been running in the wrong direction. And that somehow running after the Buddha helped him to realize what direction he needed to go in. So I like to think of England and all modern-day colonial countries as being somewhere in the midst of this Angulimala story. And because of this, I, in particular, have great kind of respect for the Queen, who was the oldest statesperson in the world when she died. So something like a quarter of all of the presidents of the United States met Queen Elizabeth. It's considered that she is, reigned over the second Elizabethan age. She was born in, I think, 1926, so died in 2022. We all know the story. And I think most importantly, that she actually reigned over the decolonization of much of the world. During her reign, the Republic of Ireland was made a nation, India was made a nation, something like many, many countries in Africa also gained their nationhood. And there are also something like 54 countries, I think, in the world. I may not be right on my numbers, but I'm trying to give you a broad stroke here, that are part of the Commonwealth of India. So something like 2-point-something billion people are under the reign of now King Charles, but we're under her reign. So she was a very important person in the world. And also, let us not forget that she was a woman. I mean, say what you will about England, but they have produced some mean-ass women leaders. Let's talk about Elizabeth, Victoria, and now Elizabeth II. So somehow she navigated that moment from the sun never sets on the British Empire to having the entire empire basically unravel under her reign, right? But what was she like, and how did she deal with that, right? That's sort of interesting to me, because in the midst of all of that unraveling, what do you remember? You remember her dignity, and you remember her sincerity, and you remember her stalwartness. And when the Buddha talks about practicing both for oneself and for others, I think she was an incredible example of that, because even though she was serving all of these people, head of state, not only of Britain, but of the Church of England, she never lost her own personal dignity. And there's something very bodhisattvic about that. Remember when she became queen and she said, you know, my life, whether short or long, whatever it may be, I vow to serve you. That is my life. Of course, that is the Bodhisattva vow. Of course, she was talking about Imperial England, but you know, we can just sort of scratch that a little bit. And I am not saying that horrible things did not happen during her realm and her reign, by any means. I mean, look at poor Ireland in the 70s. I mean, Shokai lived through that experience, and India, certainly. So when I think about the Queen, and I think about the colors and the hats and the handbags and the wave, the wave actually reminds me a little bit of Makaya Shapa waving the flower on Vulture Peak. I wish and I hope that for all of us that we can really take her example of her life of really staying incredibly dignified and incredibly noble in the face of so much unraveling. And we are right now in a period of time where those changes and those changings of positions are accelerating even more. And may we maintain our dignity and our nobility in the midst of all of that. And especially appreciate that although, you know, she wasn't Buddhist, or even others that aren't Buddhist, many, many people throughout the world right now are living this vow of serving. Especially the fourth kind of person. So the fourth kind of person. The person practicing both for their own welfare and for the welfare of others is foremost, the best, the preeminent, the supreme, and the finest of the four people. I think it's also really important for us as Buddhist practitioners in America to really appreciate that we are very much a part of the world stage, even though we're living in the Shire in Toledo. And recently we've been having some discussions about having a flag pole put up in on the grounds. And it's been a little bit controversial, like, already. So I urge you to think about that, how you feel about that. And we'll be having some conversations about that. No, it's not easy to be here talking about politics. It's much easier to just talk about the Dharma. But we live in a world, and we have to somehow find a way to work with how we feel about our world leaders in such a way that we protect our own bodhisattva vow. In other words, we don't go immediately to, like, oh my God, I hate that person, or oh my God, that person is awful, or oh my God, this, not this thing from this person. We can think about our own political landscape right now, and we certainly have all of this wild, sort of emotional flailings around, right? On the internet and on the TV. How, as Buddhist practitioners, are we metabolizing that? This is a real question. My suggestion is that the key, the thing that allows us to keep our heart tender and keep our heart open and keep our eyes open, is this bodhisattva vow. That we recognize, first, that everybody is suffering. The queen died. She had cancer. She suffered a lot despite all of her wealth. Everybody is suffering. And that we have a path to understand the cause of that suffering. And most importantly, the elimination of that suffering. And no matter how we feel about what's going on in world affairs, we must keep our hearts open. Find a way to, at the very least, appreciate the suffering karmic minds that are wreaking havoc in our world, so that we don't fall into the trap of hate and othering. May it be so.
Beings are numberless, vow to enter them. The Buddha way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. Beings are numberless. I vow to free them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to end them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. The Buddha way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. Thank you all for being here today. If there are any announcements, please make your way up to the front. I'll start with on September 24th, it's a Saturday, from 2 to 5, there will be a visioning session here at the temple for anyone who is a member. We'll be envisioning what the next 50 years of being a temple and a sangha together means. So please take the time to come to that and participate if you can. Any others?
Hi, I'm Shindo. If there's any parents here or guardians who have not been added to the Dharma School Facebook page, please go ahead and see me after service and I'll get your name and add you to the page. That way you can keep track of the progress. And there will also be a community board that's going to be posted soon. If you have services that you offer, if you have any announcements, there's going to be a board inside the, where are we putting it? The coat room, I believe, right? That way we can try to keep things off Facebook and you can still spread the news. So that'll be coming probably in the next week or two. That's all I have.
Hi. So I believe next weekend, Ango is starting, the fall Ango, and with that comes something called Sangha Circles. If you're, just a brief word on those, that they're gatherings of small groups of people in different Sangha members' homes that you can sign up to join, and you meet 3 times during Ango, each time talking about a topic that is selected by the teachers. So Kensei is organizing those. There'll be an email going out And also the information will be on Facebook. So there'll be a form to fill out to sign up. And if you have any questions, you can ask me or ask Kensei when you see her, or anyone in a robe or a rock suit probably. But yeah, Sangha Circle sign up is coming up, and those will happen. So thank you.
Two quick things. Session begins on Thursday evening. If registration is officially closed, but if you really want to attend, we'd never push anyone away. So see Eka, the registrar, to get registered for session. And finally, this afternoon at 2 o'clock is a discerning Shoken workshop. If you're interested about these gray robes and have questions about it, or would like to become a Shoken student and learn more about it, please come at 2 o'clock for discerning Shoken.
And really finally, next Sunday is Ango. So please, at high service, please attend and sign the scroll and ring the bell and get your red thread.
Thank you, everyone. Please restore the Zendo.